You may be watching this video today on our YouTube channel, Sales School 2.0, and if so, then you know it's in the Sales Math playlist. If you're watching it on our website, salesmastery.com, then all you know is it's one of our Sales Math videos. And we have not been getting the number of views that we expected or would like to see for that. And we think maybe part of it has to do with the name, Sales Math. Freaks a lot of people out. And so we decided to have some fun with it. And a computer company we worked with a number of years ago, when their sales rep and their technical pre-sales people would go on calls together, they used to describe it as black hat and white coat. So I'm wearing my white lab coat today. If there are any Bill Nye, the Science Guy fans in the audience, going to have some fun with it. And the title is about math statistics. That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, let's have some fun with this today. You may know the Mark Twain quote, "There are lies, damned lies, and statistics." And there's a lot of talk these days about analytics and statistics, and I have one quick area I want to jump into today. Before Sales Mastery, Jim Dickey and I had started CSO Insights, and before CSO Insights, I had a software company I started with a couple of partners called Salesware. And what we did in the 90s, before that company was acquired by Goldmine, were what we called pipeline performance metrics. And it was based on not only our sales process consulting work that we had done, but we realized to keep that going, what was needed was a sustaining mechanism. And so we developed first Excel spreadsheets and then software that would keep track of various metrics. Again, we called it pipeline performance metrics. Today they call it analytics. And I won't bore you with all the things that we could do and some of the new things that are being done today with AI and ML and so on. But there were things we were doing back then in terms of most optimistic, best case, worst case, most likely, and so on. Some folks still aren't doing today. In fact, most folks are not doing today. But there was one thing, that we did, and it's, what will kick us off today, and that was forecasting. And, one of Jim and I often say that forecast accuracy is an oxymoron because sales forecasts are wildly inaccurate. But we were working with a company in the upper Midwest, a manufacturing company named The Tennant Company. And their CEO then was a fellow named Roger Hale. And Roger had gone to the Harvard B School, was an up-and-comer in the company. And when he first came into the company, one of the things that he took on was to improve their forecast capabilities. And long story short, he put a lot of time and energy into that effort, basically busted his pick and never really solved the problem. And so we were in there with Salesware, sales process, and so on. But when he heard that we also did forecasting, he was happy to talk to me and to take that on. And here's what we talked about that day. And it still makes me smile, but I think it's also an important point for sales managers. And I'll just tee this up by saying, after we went through this discussion, it's very short, Roger said, every sales manager needs to hear this. So that's the tee up. That's what I want you to know about what we're going to talk about today. So what you'll hear about all the time are metrics. And what you want to do is measure whatever the metric is, whether it's cycle time or average sales price or close rates or quota attainment or whatever. What you want to do is measure that over time. And, if we talk about quota attainment as an example, you'll have people all over the boards in this time period and so on. And what you want to look at is what is the mean? So maybe our highest performer came in at 220% of quota, and our worst performer came in at 40% of planned. And the mean, so we have this range here from 220 down to 40. And the mean, let's say, according to our research, was around 52% the last time we did the survey. And so you've got this huge range from 40 to 220%, with the mean being 52. And if you don't know, average would be 260, so 180 if these were the only two numbers. The mean says you have as many above this line as you have below it. So it's another way of sort of coming up with an average, depending on whether you have a lot of data points or just a few. You either do average or mean, median, but we're talking about the mean here today. So what you want to do over time is raise the mean and reduce the overall range. So if you could get from 52% to 62% for the mean and reduce this from 220% to 150% and 50%, then you've made real progress. So you've increased the mean and reduced the range, and that is goodness. So from a sales team performance aspect, having the range 50 to 150 and more folks in the 60% range is a healthier situation than from 40 to 220 with just over 50% as the mean. Okay, so everybody sort of gets that. Here's the part that Roger lit up on, and really the thing I want to get across to you today is this is called normal variance. And what we tend to think of is, you know, this person is a star and this person is, you know, basically a slug. And so we tend to be real fans of these people and, you know, in judgment and putting these folks on pips and so on. And what you need to know is, as long as they're operating within normal variance, they're operating within bounds. So that doesn't make this person good and this person bad. It makes them operators within the environment that's been provided. And when you get from 220 to 150 and from 40 to 50 and so on, it's not that this guy got better and this person got worse so much as the whole system is now running closer to a controlled plan or a controlled figure, okay? And if you want to know more about this, if you look at our video on what to measure, we talk about sales process, all the different metrics you could have. And one of the ones we have on making the number, where it's one company is plus or minus 50% and the other is plus or minus 5%, what that means in terms of market cap. Well, plus or minus 50%, you know, this is plus or minus, you know, 180%. This is plus or minus 100%. So you're getting closer to or being more in control because you have less variance, okay? Now, it's hard for people to say, no, this guy's clearly a star and this guy's clearly, you know, a turd. And that's not true. And the way to sort of take all the spin out of this is if you stop looking at people and start looking at machines. If we were in a manufacturing situation and we were looking at scrap rates or production, this person is producing 40 units an hour, this person's producing 220, and the mean is 52, but they're all operating within normal variance. In other words, over time, this hasn't changed much. Well, then what you want to do is look at the machines or look at the environment in which the machines are operating, not just the operator, okay? And so that's the part that Roger got lit up about, because it's not good or bad, it's how in control is your process and the environment. And when you raise the mean, reduce the variance, then you're tightening up your process, your coaching, you know, the environment in which people are operating. Incentives maybe are more aligned. communication is clearer, tasks are clear, task clarity, big issue. All of those things mean that you're getting the environment better, and therefore the performance is getting better, and how the people are operating within that. We say this all the time. Your number is a reflection of what you do and how well you do it. But this is to point out, it's also a reflection of the environment in which you're operating. That's what I want you to know today. Thanks for watching.